Hockey night in Utica as the Comets return home after a brief yet successful two-game road trip.
Could they be getting over the hump here? They're getting set to host the Bridgeport Islanders tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. That's where we're going to find sports director Spencer Davidson joining us live now to get us ready for Puck Drop. Spencer, good evening.
Good evening, Jason and Kristen. Hello there, everyone. It may be near sub-zero temperatures outside and bodies of water are frozen solid all over the area, but the tides are certainly turning here for the Utica Comets over the last couple of weeks. They're suddenly red hot here in the month of January. Now, it's an exciting night here tonight at the Aud as the 45th annual Empire State Winter Games gets the road to the games underway right here tonight in Utica. The torch relay making its first of 15 stops across the state on the ice here tonight during first intermission. We're going to have more on that for you guys later on tonight. The games will then start up on January 30th up in Lake Placid. That is where the torch will make its way to for its final stop for the opening ceremonies on the 30th. The games then go till February 2nd. Now, for the Comets, the product on the ice has been very good. Utica playing some of its best hockey of late this season. After starting off the month of January with 2 straight losses, Utica's been scorching. They're 5-2 since January 8th, winning 2 of 6 against North Division opponents, 4 of 6 against North Division opponents, and are 6-4 overall in their last 10. Now they come into this one winners of 2 straight and 4 of their last 5. In that time, they found their scoring touch as well. No longer the lowest producing offensive team in the league. They've outscored opponents 24-15 during this recent stretch. It took them 11 games to get 24 goals prior to these last 7. And with that, including a couple of big wins over Syracuse, the Comets have now pulled within 15 points of the Crunch, who sit in the final playoff spot in the North. But the Comets have 4 games or a potential 8 points at hand on their throughway rivals. So certainly still lots of work to be done, but the road a little bit less bumpy than it was just a couple of weeks ago. Let's take a look at the North Division standings as we come into the night tonight. Again, Comets still in the basement and have a big hole to climb, but a bit more surmountable than it seemed a short time ago. Sitting with 28 points, they're within single digits now of Belleville in 6th, just 7 behind the Senators with 35. And of course, the big key, 15 back of the Crunch for that 5th and final playoff spot with 43. The Amerks, Rocket, and Monsters continue jockeying for the top spot in the division. Utica will see both Rochester and Belleville here next week, on the road, I should say, next week. The Comets coming back home after a big win over Syracuse on Monday. Tonight, taking on the Bridgeport Islanders in a battle of the 2 cellar dwellers in the Eastern Conference. The Isles in last place in the Atlantic Division, the Comets sitting in last place in the North Division. Utica looking to stay red hot, though. I will have plenty more on this matchup and a look inside the tail of the tape coming up at 6. Puck drop here at the Adirondack Bank Center is at 7. Should be a fun night. Lots going on as the Comets kick off Save of the Day week here in Utica. But for now, I'll send it back up Smith Hill, Jason and Kristen, to you guys.
It's got to be warmer inside than outside right now. It has to be.
Definitely warmer. Yes.
All right, Spencer, thank you. Time for
Good evening, everybody. I'm here live at the Adirondack Bank Center for Hockey Night in Utica. It is a wonderful night to be inside the warm shelter of a hockey rink. We have a lot going on here tonight at the Aud. The 45th annual Empire State Winter Games torch relay gets underway here in Utica tonight, making the first of 15 stops on the ice here during the first intermission. It'll end up in Lake Placid for the opening ceremonies on January 30th. The Empire State Winter Games then go till February 2nd, so that gets going here tonight. It's also the start of Save of the Day week here at the Aud. It's the first of 3 games here where proceeds from 50-50 raffle and other things will go towards local charities, so always a fun week this week. Now, for the Comets, they return home here, and it's frigid temperatures outside, but they come back here red hot to the cozy confines of the Adirondack Adirondack Bank Center. They are winners of 4 of their last 5. They have won 6 of their last 10, 5 in their last 7. Taking a look at the North Division standings coming into the night now, the Comets, while they're still in the cellar of the North, they have closed the gap a bit with their recent resurgence. They're now within 7 points of the Belleville Senators in 6th, whom they'll see next week, and 15 points behind Syracuse for that 5th and final playoff spot, but with 4 games at hand on the crunch. So plenty of work still to be done, but the needle is moving. Now tonight is another battle of future Metropolitan Division rivals as the Comets, the AHL affiliate of the New Jersey Devils, take on the Bridgeport Islanders, of course the AHL affiliate of the New York Islanders here. Taking a look at this matchup, both of these teams are currently basement buddies, last place in their respective divisions. Utica, though, a tick better with 12 wins and 28 points on the year. It's their first meeting of the season this year, but last season the Comets and Isles earned a series split, each winning 2, though Utica did earn points with an overtime and shootout loss in both their defeats to Bridgeport. This season, the Islanders' offense has been a bit more potent than the Comets thus far, but Bridgeport comes in dead last in the league in goals against. So the Comets' offense, which has woken up a bit of late, will look to keep the pressure on the Isles' defense tonight. Utica also comes in with an advantage on special teams, and while they've struggled at home this year, have won 3 of their last 4 at the odd, while Bridgeport has won just 7 of its 18 games on the road. These teams split the 2 meetings here in Utica last year. The Comets winning 4-1 on December 8th, 2023, before the Isles took a 2-1 decision in a shootout on March 22nd, 2024. There's also some familiar faces returning to the ice here tonight. The Isles have a couple former Comets on their roster this year, and Brian Pino and Long Island native Tice Thompson. So again, the first of 2 meetings this year between Bridgeport and the Comets. Puck drop is at 7. Warm-ups coming up in just a few minutes as the crowd is coming in from the cold here. I'll have highlights tonight at 11. News Channel 2 at 6. We'll wrap up after the break.
With Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. A lot of rough news in the world right now, so why not begin with something that'll make you smile? The Empire State Winter Games kicked off their 45th annual torch relay at tonight's Utica Comets game. It is your top story. During the first intermission, winter athletes took to the ice, passing the flame to celebrate the legacy of the athletes and historic venues that have shaped winter sports for New York. Throughout its 45-year history, the Empire State Winter Games have helped 34 athletes go to the Olympics later on in their career. Athletes present at tonight's ceremony included players from the Utica Hockey Club, as well as hockey players from Rome Grizzlies hockey team. And how about this? Curling is the newest addition to the Empire State Winter Games, getting their start this year.
The Utica Curling Club was so excited about the Empire State Games, they actually came to us and asked how they could be involved and how we could bring them into the schedule. And, you know, curling's one of the biggest sports during the Olympic Winter Games, and, you know, it's really a no-brainer but to add curling to our schedule.
The torch relay will take place at 16 locations throughout the next week, ending on January 30th in Lake Placid for the game's opening ceremonies. Looking forward to that. Time now for a first look at the forecast with Chief.
And now, from the Ford Sports Station, here's Sports Director Spencer Davidson.
Good evening. It is frigid temperatures outside, but you wouldn't know it by looking at the Utica Comets, who returned to the cozy confines of the Adirondack Bank Center red hot, winners in 2 straight, 4 of their last 5, and 5 of their last 7. It was a busy night tonight at the Odd as Utica kicked off their Save of the Day week for charity, while also getting the road to the 45th annual Empire State Winter Games underway with the first of 15 stops on the statewide torch relay coming through the building, all surrounding a tilt between future NHL rivals as the Comets hosted former Utica forward Tice Thompson and the Bridgeport Islanders. It's hockey night in Utica, folks. Buckle up. Comets look to keep it rolling, but first honoring former Utica Devils head coach Tom McVie, who died on Sunday at age 89 with a moment of silence prior to puck drop. McVie was Utica's first AHL coach ever, leading the Devils from 1987 to 1991. Well, the Comets did their best job honoring the late Utica legend. Just 40 seconds in, Jack Malone, right place, right time. The rebound from the Dmitry Osipov shot pinballs off the forward at the doorstep for his 4th of the year. Utica in the lead right away. Just over 4 minutes later, look out. Huge collision as Brian Hallinan levels Alex Jeffries with a clean hit. And just seconds later, with Jeffries shaken up and heading to the bench, Malone with the snipe roofs it for his 2nd of the game. Assist to Nolan Foote, and Utica grabs a 2-0 lead. Don't blink, though. Less than 3 minutes after that, it's Malone again, this time loading up the one-timer off the feet from Hallinan. It's a natty hattie. Before Bridgeport even has a shot on goal, Malone nearly matches his season total with 3 straight tallies for a natural hat trick as the headgear flies over the boards. Comets lead 3-0. An eventful first period continues with fight night at the Odd. Ding, ding. Hallinan squaring off with Isles captain Cole Bardreau as he answers the bell for that clean but devastating hit earlier in the frame. Hallinan with an assist, fight, and then third period goal would complete the Gordie Howe hat trick in this one. So back to your regularly scheduled hockey game. Comets, no signs of slowing down. On the power play, Foot ends Henrik Tikkanen's night early as he snaps it 5-hole from the top of the circle, his 10th of the year, and Comets first tonight by someone not named Malone. Comets lead 4-0. So Jakob Skarek now between the pipes. Doesn't solve anything, though. First shot faced, he stops Max Willman's try, but Mike Hardman puts on the hard hat and goes to work, stuffing home the rebound. Comets with 5 first-period goals, get solid play in the second from Isaac Poulter, who would make 29 saves. What an effort, as Utica goes on to win 7-1, matching their season high in goals and earning their 3rd straight victory. So we're taking a look now at the North Division standings. Again, big win for the Comets. Toronto Marley is actually in action right now on the West Coast, but that'll have no bearing on the placement by the end of the night. Last I checked, they were tied 1-1 in that one. Now the seesaw at the top of the division continues. Laval leapfrogging the Rochester Americans today. The idle Rochester Americans for first place with a win, now with 51 points, overtaking the Amerks with 50. Cleveland Monsters in third, pick up a point with an overtime loss to the Chicago Wolves. The Syracuse Crunch, Belleville Senators, they were both inactive tonight. And so looky here. Look at what we got, folks. The Comets now within 5 points of the Sens in 6th and 13 back of the Crunch for that 5th and final playoff spot, with 3 games still at hand on the Crunch for that 5th spot. So things getting very interesting as the scorching Comets are right back at it here on Friday for the first of a home-and-home against another Atlantic Division opponent.